Welcome back to the inaugural JNS International Policy Summit, hosted here at the Waldorf Astoria in the heart of Jerusalem. I'm Ariella Novak, journalist and co-founder of Shield Communications PR and Bottom Line Media. I'm excited to be podcasting throughout the two-day conference on the second day of this historic event. This summit brings together world leaders for vital conversations on Israel's greatest challenges and opportunities in a post-October 7th world. I'd now like to welcome a guest whose insights and experience bring real depth to today's conversation. Thank you so much for joining us. Dr. Péter Sztáray, State Secretary for Security Policies with 32 years of experience in foreign affairs, particularly in international organizations. He brings a wealth of experience to this role. Now let's explore some questions. I personally have so many, I had to stop myself before the interview. So I just want to understand this. Hungary is pulling out of the ICC. Tell me about this. How did this happen? It's very exciting news.
Well, thank you very much for this. The ICC, the International Criminal Court, is actually a body which is over-politicized by now. We see the decisions against Israel, we see the decisions against others, against the Prime Minister of Israel, and Hungary decided to pull out from this court because they are using legal arguments for political purposes. So we are not ready to continue to work with them.
Any example in particular that was one that we should highlight here?
Well,
because there's way too many.
The problem is that they are biased, and the decisions that they make, they are in legal disguise, but they are political. And that's not acceptable, because a court, an international court, should be legally well-founded on arguments, on legal aspects. But this is not the case by now, and they are also punishing countries like Israel, and we cannot accept that, because Hungary is a close ally of Israel.
How do we get the other countries to follow along?
Well, many countries shy away from such a decision. I mean, now we see the US is moving the same direction, which is very good.
Yes.
They are not part of the ICC, but they are taking measures against the ICC, and I think that's important. That's very symbolic politically.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Other countries, smaller countries, shy away from making their positions clear on this.
They do.
I'm afraid maybe there will be more in the future, but now Hungary is actually alone with this decision.
Do you think there are any other countries that are close to the same decision as the one that you came to?
Well, I can't prejudge. There are a couple of countries who are really friends of Israel, also in Europe, and maybe they would change their position on this. But because of different political considerations, they are very cautious.
Well, my next question for you, and I have still more on that topic, what initiatives do you find most promising in advancing security policies in Hungary today?
Well, if we speak about the Middle East, definitely the Abraham Accords are the most important initiative, actually. Very innovative, very fundamental, and we hope that after the war will be over here, there will be a chance to extend the Abraham Accords, because that's the only way towards lasting peace in our assessment. We also have a war in Hungary's neighborhood, in Ukraine, and we very much hope in Ukraine. And we very much hope that the US now, with the new US administration, will be able to bring the warring parties to the table and to reach at least a ceasefire, because we want to have peace in our neighborhood.
How does what is happening now in Ukraine, now in Israel, in America, new politics situation, how does that all relate to Hungary today?
It has a huge impact that we have a new UN administration with a totally new approach, actually, both on the war on Ukraine and both vis-a-vis Israel, I would say, because now the US support for Israel is full, 100%. With no restrictions, and I think Israel deserves that, because Israel has to protect its sovereignty and its integrity. So in that respect, that's fundamental. On the other hand, vis-a-vis Ukraine, Europe was not ready to engage with Russia to start some kind of talks. And now there is a US push, because the US wants peace. President Trump wants peace, and we hope that he will be successful in this. Hungary has been advocating for this for 3 years, since the breakout of the war. You know, we were alone. We are alone. And now there's a chance that with a strong US support, something can happen, and Russia and Ukraine can be brought to the table, and there will be peace.
Now, anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism is obviously not just a problem in the US, it's a global issue, and a real big problem. Can you explain if there's any anti-Semitism in Hungary today, and how is it dealt with there, if so?
Well, I can proudly tell you that Hungary is actually probably the safest place in Europe today for the Jewish community. We have the largest Jewish community in Central Europe, about 100,000 people,
wow.
which is big. We have
people wear kippot on the streets and it's fine?
And it's fine, yeah. And they are safe. You can ask the community's leaders in Budapest or in Hungary.
Well, because that's always a
It's
concern
really
for
unique.
many.
If you look at Western Europe or even North America, it's horrible what's happening because Jewish life cannot be maintained visibly because people are afraid of being harassed.
Yes. And this is not a new concern. It's been long before people think October 7th.
But it's worse now, yeah.
It is. It's amplified.
It's worse now. Since the 7th of October, I think things have worsened. The Hungarian government did not allow pro-Hamas and pro-Palestinian demonstrations because we saw what happened in other capitals, that these demonstrations...
So on your college campuses you don't have protests, you don't have demonstrations?
No.
Really?
Actually, no, because we said that we need to maintain public order and we have a policy of zero tolerance on anti-Semitism. And we saw that in other capitals, these demonstrations turned into anti-Israel and anti-Semitic demonstrations, and we will not allow that, So I think we are very unique in that respect. We have launched a lot of programs, renovation of synagogues, renovation of Jewish cemeteries, and we have very close cooperation actually with the Jewish community and the leaders. So
I'm ready to move.
It's a big example. So you should come to Hungary and see it.
It would be a pleasure. I want to see
with
it
your
for
own
myself.
eyes. Yeah.
As a journalist, that's always what I say. I want to see it for myself. So now, tell me, you say that there's no anti-Semitism there. How does your education system differ than what we have, where it doesn't feel there's much oversight in what is being taught versus what it should be taught?
Yeah. We have a close cooperation with the leaders of the community, and we construct or write together the curricula in the textbooks about the Holocaust, about the Jewish life in Hungary in the past and in the present, And I think that's very important because education is the basis for this, for the future generations, to make them understand why is it important, this Judeo-Christian heritage that we have. And traditionally Hungary has a very strong Jewish community for centuries. The Holocaust broke that or cut that, and now I think there is I would say Jewish renaissance in Hungary, and the Hungarian government really supports that.
Well, hopefully after our conversation, tourism is also going to shoot up.
We hope so. We have lots of tourists.
You did tell us about what you have there.
Lots of Jewish tourists from Israel, from the United States. Many people who have Hungarian ancestry, they come back to see the cemeteries.
Yes.
Many buy property in Budapest or in Hungary. So there's a lot going on actually, and the government is a partner in that.
Wow, well, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for inviting me.
It definitely sounds like I need to come visit.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll be back here with JNS, more people to interview, more experiences to hear about, more opportunities. Stand by, stay with us.